news and views. A retired expat in Thailand, and this is my World Cup segment, and we're at the quarter-final stage, and I'm going to talk about the two games, game 3 and 4, that were played on Saturday. It has to be said that the whole country was on edge as England, my country, entertained Sweden, and we were really looking forward to this one. Well, England were unchanged from the first game in the tournament, Dele Alli returning after an injury, and there was no room for Rashford, much to my disappointment, with Sterling maintaining his position up front. The Swedes were without one person who picked up a second yellow. The game started pretty cagily. Both teams a little nervous, but eventually England started to dominate possession, and they were looking good, particularly down that left flank where Young seemed to be always in space and always available. Anyway, it was following an excursion down the left that England got a corner on the half hour, and a great cross from the corner flag by Young was met by Harry Maguire. Now, many of you don't know much about him. He's at the centre of Leicester's defence, and he's been an absolute inspiration since he's come into Southgate's team. And he headed in from the penalty box area with such power that the Swedish keeper had absolutely, Olsen his name, had absolutely no chance whatsoever. England won up. The Swedes didn't really alter their style that much. They looked like they were trying to get a goal on the counter-attack. But they did have a few shots, and Pickford was handling them quite well, I think. Got to the break then at 1-0, and the second half started off very much as the first had finished, with England having the bigger share of possession. And on 51 minutes, Lingard, free on the right edge of the penalty area, lifted a lovely chip to the back post, and Dele Alli managed to run onto it unmarked and headed it past the goalkeeper, and it was 2-0. We were really getting euphoric at this stage, but the English players got a little shock a few minutes later when Berg got into the penalty area, connected with a great header which looked to be going in the corner, until Pickford produced an absolutely fantastic save to his left, punching the ball round the post. At that moment, I think we all thought it was our day. From there on, the game lacked a little bit. Sweden tried to push forward, but to be perfectly honest, they didn't have enough creativity. Forsberg was trying his best, but they really just didn't have any class up front, and the game ran out with England comfortable 2-0 winners. First clean sheet for Pickford. The evening game, what an exciting game this was between Russia, the hosts, and Croatia. It was action-packed, and the Russians, through Chernov, opened the scoring on 31 minutes with a beautifully struck left-foot curler inside the post. The Croatians responded, and within 8 minutes, Kramaric had equalised. 1-1 at the break and 1-1 at full time. So into extra time. And on 100 minutes, some slack Russian marking let in Vida, who eddied in through a crowd of players. So it looked all up for Russia, but no, they're made of sterner stuff. And on 115 minutes, Fernandez collected a header and they were level 2 each. So on to the dreaded shootout. Well, it was tense to say the least, and the Croats managed to get the better of it 4-3 to send the hosts out of the tournament. So what does that mean? It means that on Wednesday, England will play Croatia for a place in the World Cup final. Wow, isn't this exciting? I did note on the BBC website that some bright spark had taken a photograph of Tesco's, the supermarket in England, at the time that the football was on, and it was completely deserted. And the same thing happened at the tennis, where the Wimbledon Lawn Tennis Club are hosting the championships. And again, while the game was going on between England and Sweden, it was virtually deserted on centre court. So you now know how patriotic and how fanatical English supporters are, me included. Look forward to talking to you about the semi-finals.